Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, because in this video we are going to take a close look at the Sega Mini number 2 once again. I just want to make like a talking video and also want to have your opinion. Like, if you can hack the Mega Drive 2 Mini, yeah, what's really the point of it? And also that is the reason I'm going to talk about it. Because yeah, at this moment, as making this video, so far I know there is no way of hacking it. We're going to talk about all different ways we can hack mini consoles. But again, most important thing is, what's the point of it? I do own a lot of these, let's say, mini systems. And most of my systems are just original, despite you can just hack these things. The first one was the NES Mini. With a special program you can just basically add new games to it. It was a pretty damn cool thing. But for me, it doesn't feel like that authentic that it is originally, with only like the 30 games that normally came with it. So when the Super Nintendo Mini came out, also here people went completely like crazy when it comes to hacking. The same kind of program can be used on this thing, and we can even again add new games to it. So I personally really love the Super Nintendo Mini. It's just an absolutely quality device, and it is so much fun to play all your old school games. But the unfortunate thing, like a lot of people were like slapping a weird stuff on it. I think it can even run up to PlayStation 1. You have seen some weird stuff. But for me, like leaving this thing in original condition, or at least like add a couple of games that you're missing, I completely understand that they want to do this. The thing I'm always reading, like say in my comments, that people were missing a certain kind of game of their childhood. So I think like modding and basically adding some new games to a system is not a bad thing, and I think it can be like giving some extra value to the product that you basically purchased. I did even see like people were playing like some crazy things on it. Think about Sega games on a Super NES Mini or NES Mini. But for me, like hacking, what's the point of it? Because if you're going to do stuff like this, there are so many gazillion ways nowadays. You can play some old school retro games that we're going to talk about today. But when it came to the PlayStation 1 Mini, oh man, I think it's such a cool thing they made. But unfortunate, the software itself is absolutely a piece of garbage. So the good thing was, with the PlayStation Mini, we had so many freaking ways to can basically like mod this thing. It was like a plug and play solution, and I think it was pretty cool because it made the PlayStation 1 Mini absolutely great. Of course you can make yourself like a USB stick, or basically get yourself like a weird thing called the True Blue Mini. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The general problem these things were having is that we did have like a kit with a USB stick in it, but the bad thing is like they were like pretty damn low quality. So the sticks they were using, I did read a lot of people had like problems in the comments. Like when you're looking at this stick, there was no brand whatsoever, so they were like losing files on it if they like added to them. It's a kind of weird and a little bit of a bummer, and very bad situation going on. But besides that, nowadays you can like mod yourself like in PlayStation Mini and do some awesome cool things with it. And again, it runs a lot of stuff when it comes to arcade. But I think it's pretty damn pointless. The way this True Blue Mini stick thing was basically like a tiny collection of 32GB, like different kind of versions. But also like what it basically does is you can also like make it yourself, by the way. You can slap or add new games, the thing that we talked about with the Super NES Mini. And you just basically improved it, because with the plug and play solution we just have like different games, more games, and everything seemed to be running like it should be from the beginning. I know that people were like having an image of like 200 games on it, absolutely weird, because we have this same kind of carousel you can see over here. So with a tiny pack it was still like manageable, and we do have like a lot of fighting games because it was actually like the 5-pack. But when you plugged it in, it put instantly into the piece of software, and when we had like a soft mod plug and play situation, super convenient, and you can just play your original games. And like with the original system, all of them were like most of the time broken or issues. With the stick we didn't have any issues. I do must point out, with the sticks I was not like a big fan of the quality, because the overall quality of the sticks was not great. But if there is like a stick that you can basically pick up, plug in your Sega Mini to, that would be pretty damn cool. So add just your favorite games. So make it like a personal, like ultimate Sega Mini classic, like they did with the PlayStation 1. I think that is pretty damn cool. But we also have like the Gamebox sticks. All of the call these things are naughty sticks. You can plug it in and you can even play more than your original games. And basically like these Sony Mini things, also the other ones are like basically emulation machines. So what you can do with it you can also do it with these machines to a certain level. And I think that is the thing that like, I wouldn't say annoys me the most, but it makes it a little bit pointless. Also these sticks are low quality, and yeah, if you have one, back up them, because they will die off someday. And yeah, when you're looking at these like sticks, you're going to get yourself like a plug and play solution. I'm wondering if there's something that's going to be possible in the near future when it comes to, let's say, the Sega Mini 2. So let's say if you can get yourself in the future a stick like this, so maybe it also boots up into RetroArch and you can play all kinds of old school in combination with some MAME emulators, Atari, PC Engine, Game Boy Advance. And this is the thing that I find it's kind of cool to see that it is all possible on an emulation box like the PlayStation 1 Mini. But even if you're going to get something like this on the Sega Megadrive 2 Mini, is it really worth it? Because again, there are so many ways to play. But then not to forget the old school Sega Megadrive Mini. So far I understand this thing also had like this weird like stick you can plug in and you can just add yourself new games. A pretty cool thing to do, and also kind of a weird thing. Because when you're looking at this, we had like a very plug and play solution going over, only it was slightly difficult. My good friend, I think it was RetroArch, who made like a video back in the day about it. You need to, let's say, install some special software and then you can just basically plug in your true blue stick. You know that I never did it. I never made a video about this, and the reason why, because at the point I don't really care about it anymore, and it was for a good reason. So making the library bigger on your Sega Mega Mini thing is pretty damn cool, and I would not be surprised there will be like a new solution coming for the Megadrive Mini also. Again, it's more like speculation, and maybe this will maybe never happen in the future. But again, let's say if you could add, let's say, a USB stick with some new games. What kind of games would you like add to your system? That is something I also want to know from you. But here comes the point that I think, why should we even care about this? So let's be clear about one thing. These things are just emulation boxes. You know it, I know it, and if you didn't know, now you know. And that's the thing that I'm more like, yeah, but these things are not like authentic Genesis, let's say original hardware that we're having with our original systems. So basically, why not get yourself a Pi or something like that? Of course the Pi is not the same. It doesn't have like the authentic feeling when it comes to these mini collectibles. So that is a little bit of a problem, but also there they have a solution for that. Because nowadays we do have like these cool cases, still not like one-on-one a copy of the original one or the original Mini. It's slightly different in many different ways. But we still have like a freaking awesome option to just have a lot of fun and to have not all the necessary things and equipment for upgrading the thing. And that is like you're gonna get it with a Pi 3, Pi 4, it runs up to PlayStation 1 without any problems. But again, that is a thing that I find a little bit annoyed at the moment when it comes to these hacking things of the original systems. We have like this mini Sega Pi case, and they are like from Retroflag and high quality case. It's not a one-on-one copy or something like that. It's still like slightly different than the original one, but it's just a fun novelty, and you can actually play so much more than modifying your Mega Drive Mini, PlayStation 1 Mini, because the Pi 4 is just way more powerful than all the other devices that I've reviewed here. Then we have also so many different, let's say, pieces of software that are running on the Raspberry Pi 4. For example, RetroPie or Recalbox. And with this we can even play more stuff and even like the higher end stuff. Think about PlayStation 4, Sega Dreamcast. We have so many better performance. So, and that's the thing that makes me like think, why should we like even, let's say, modify it and add a lot of stuff to it, because we already have like so many solutions like this that works absolutely like a charm. The question remains, what do you want to do with the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2? Are you just going to buy it, drop it in your closet and never look at it again? For me, like, there were a couple of cool games like Final Fight CD, they're absolutely worth like just buying this thing alone, because it's a very expensive Sega CD game. Still, like, it does have a little bit of an authentic feeling with my Mini, and of course a Pi is just a Pi. Yeah, the True Blue Mini, I think, my opinion, that there will not be a stick coming out. You never know, of course, but if there were going to stick out, it would be like a super easy plug and play solution. You can just plug it in like that. But with the previous model, I already shown you very briefly, like RetroRalph did a full video about it, that we have like a lot of modification needed. You need to like modify the internal software. And personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I personally really love to have like the original system as it was intended or released for me. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this all? Would you like want to have a plug and play? You want to like modify it? You want to play everything on it, or you're going to just leave it original like me? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments, and it would be great to see you in the next video.